What's going on, guys? The new optics versions of the Ray-Ban Meta glasses have finally dropped, and I finally got my hands on the Blazer optics. So in this video, I'm going to go over everything that's different between the previous Wayfarer models and these new optics models. So basically, you can decide if it's worth it to upgrade, or maybe this is your first time getting these glasses. Maybe this is the perfect entry point to do so. Whatever the case is, we're going to find out. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so what I have with me is the Ray-Ban Wayfarer Gen 1s. The Gen 2s are exactly the same as the Gen 1s. The only difference between the Gen 1s and the Gen 2s is the fact that the Gen 2s have 8 hours of battery life and the Gen 1s only have 4, and the fact that the Gen 2s can record in 3K as opposed to 2K for these Wayfarers Gen 1. So basically, size-wise, the Gen 1s and the Gen 2s are the exact same. There is no visual difference. But before I go into the glasses themselves, let's just take a look at the case. So obviously a different color with the cases. The difference inside, there's a subtle difference. You can see inside the Gen 1, Gen 2, this little charging port is a little different than the one they have in here. This one kind of pushes back a bit. Just sits in there a little differently. But other than that, everything is the exact same. You still have your Bluetooth connectivity on the back. You still have USB-C charging on the bottom. Everything's the same other than that with the case. So obviously a major selling point for the optics lineup is the fact that they are slightly lighter and that they are slimmer overall. They definitely look more like prescription reading glasses. These ones, the Gen 1s, Gen 2s are definitely just more thick, a little bigger. And when you put them side by side, you could definitely tell the difference here. They just look shorter, slimmer, sleeker. All right, so we know that the optics lineup is slimmer and overall just more like prescription glasses, but are there any other differences on the model itself? So between the two glasses, there are actually a few subtle differences between these two models. So let's start off with the Gen 1, Gen 2 and what you can expect. So on the Gen 1s and Gen 2s, you have the power button on the left hinge. You could turn it off and on, but when it comes to the optics lineup, you can see here there are no buttons there to turn it on and off. On the right hinge, that's where we have the power button now. So now it's off. I just turned it on. So that's one subtle difference. Also, the hinges themselves, they have a little bit of flex to them. So when you're putting them on, you have a little bit of play, and you can see it kind of zoomed out a bit. That's what it would look like. But when it comes to the Gen 1s, they don't have any play. They're just very stiff. The hinges don't work the same. You can see it kind of just bottoms out on the frame. So you don't have that play for the Gen 1s or Gen 2s. All right, another major difference between the optics on the left and the Ray-Ban Wayfarers Gen 1 and 2 on the right is the capture button. So as you can see on Gen 1, it's just a plain simple button, but on the optics, you can see it has this notch up top that you could actually feel. So this is actually called an action button. So now, essentially what you can do, depending where you apply pressure on this button, will determine what action you do. So for example, if I push the front of the button, I'm going to take a photo. Okay, we saw the LED. Now if I hold the button, I'm going to be recording. So if the front leaning button is a photo and the front leaning button is a video, what does this action button do? Well, technically you can change what this action does. So basically, if you go into your device settings and click on customize controls, you can then see they have an action button at the bottom. You click on it and you can set that specific notch button in the back to any of these settings. So right now it's set to alternative capture modes like hyperlapse, but let's go into each of these. So if you click on the Meta AI option, you'll be prompted to set this to 3 different options. You have Meta AI, just basically instead of saying, hey Meta, you can just click this button. You can set it to Live AI, or you can have a custom prompt. Now if we click on the alternate capture modes, we have 3 different options to choose from. This can go to hyperlapse, slow motion, or even auto capture. Or if you're a frequent Spotify user with your glasses, you can set the action button to play Spotify just with a click. What I think is probably the coolest feature out of all these settings is the accessibility feature. So if we click into that, we can actually set this button to start a call with the Be My Eyes service. This service basically helps people that are visually impaired that may want a second pair of eyes to kind of spot check what they're looking at. So for the visually impaired community, I feel like this is an incredible little add-on that can just help you with your day-to-day process. Just with one click, you can automatically be connected with somebody from Be My Eyes. So out of all these options, I feel like that's the most incredible one. And then the last one is just none. If you don't want to set it to anything in particular, you can just set it to nothing and that'll work fine. But for me personally, I'm just going to leave it set on Meta AI. And while we're on the topic of this button, I did notice while recording that the LED flashes more rapidly for the optics lineup as opposed to the Ray-Ban Wayfarers Gen 1 and Gen 2. And I actually found this pretty interesting because I know there's like a heated debate around the LED light. A lot of people don't like them. A lot of people think that, you know, you shouldn't be able to cover them, and people do cover them. I'm not here to tell people what's right or wrong or whatever the case is, all the ethics behind that. But basically, I think they kind of took like a little step into that realm and just made the LED blink a little faster just to get people's attention. Do you think the flashing LED is pretty annoying, or do you think blocking it's not a big deal because you're in public? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? All right, now are there any more differences between these two glasses? Well, yeah, just a few more. So as you can see here, the LED and camera size seems to be shrunken on the optics lineup. Now keep in mind that these camera settings are exactly the same between the optics lineup and the Gen 2 Wayfarers. Both cameras can record in 3K video, both cameras have 12 megapixels. These are the exact same cameras, just shrunken down a little bit, so a little bit more discreet on the optics lineup. Another thing different between the Gen 1, Gen 2 and the optics lineup is that the Gen 1, Gen 2 has a 5 mic array, so on these glasses have 5 mini microphones, but on the optics lineup there's actually a 6 mic array, and we can actually see them here. So we have 1 by the hinges, 2 on the other side. There is one just next to the LED light, and there's the same one on the other side, which we might have a little bit better luck viewing. So that's mic 3 and 4, and we also have 5 and 6 on the nose pads themselves. You can see the hole right there. Same thing on the other side, right there. So 6 mic array on this. So in theory, the speaker quality for you wearing this should be better, and maybe I'll do a test of that in the future. Alright, so unless I'm missing something, the last difference between these two glasses is the fact that the optics lineup actually has adjustable nose pads. So in the box you actually get a larger set of nose pads and a smaller set of nose pads. The standard ones come already fitted within there, and then you get what looks like a guitar pick, but it's actually just a tool to take off the nose pads. And I just wanted to point out that you can tell which nose pads these are, and if it has 3 dots, those are the large nose pads. And then if these are the smaller nose pads, you'll see 1 dot and then an L for the left side. So these are the smaller nose pads. All right, so let's say you wanted to take the nose pad off, you wanted to adjust it to the larger set. You take the pick basically, put it in here, and just a little pop, and it just falls right out. All right, so I'm just gonna put these back in because this is the size I use. And if you wanted to line it back up, my trick is to take that mic hole, basically just lay it on top. It's laying on top, I didn't push it in. It's just sitting there, just snap. You might have heard a little click. Super easy to do, it's not coming out. And there you go, you just change your nose pads. So really simple thing to do for these Blazer optics. All right guys, well there you have it. That is everything that's different between the Gen 1, Gen 2 Wayfarers versus the new optics lineup. So now we come to the big question after seeing all that. Are these glasses worth it? Overall, I would say that if you have the Gen 2 Wayfarers, then no need to upgrade. I don't think you need to spend all that extra money. However, if you are new to the smart glasses space, then this might be a viable option for you, especially if you use prescription glasses already. Whatever your decision is, whether you're going to upgrade or keep the same glasses, or you're new to the glasses, I hope this video helped you in making that decision. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that these glasses are worth the $500 price tag? Do you think someone should upgrade? Do you think they should keep the same glasses they have? Whatever the case is, guys, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.